Welcome back to the podcast. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Whew. Life's been busy. Taxes, making sure students are going to college, making sure they write their essays for next year. So, super busy. Southeast Asia. That's just a little bit about me. But it seems like you've been pretty busy yourself.
Pretty busy myself. Morgan and I started our own business together. Yeah, that's been a roller coaster ride. Just like all the paperwork, finding people, accountants, lawyers, all that fun stuff. But yeah, let's chat. Let's chat about you. You got some big plans coming up. We'll chat about my stuff later on. That's gonna be
My
here.
big plans? Oh man, I don't have crazy big plans besides just moving out, moving to Taiwan for a year at least, and then afterwards wherever the wind takes me. I don't know. So that's the big plan. Talk about business, finance. So it is nice that I can move around because I know that like my finances are in place and everything will be okay. I guess in the long term, even if I go out and have some fun right now. Yeah, I'm more curious about your business and just like what it takes to start a business at 27 and think about my students who like, especially like going the trade route. I think it can be super lucrative.
No, it definitely can be. I think it all, like, the stars kind of aligned. Like, we weren't really officially looking to start a business just yet. There's like these websites that show different chiros that are generally retiring or trying to sell their practice. And we're just looking just to look just for the heck of it because, yeah, why not? Big plans coming, right? So we looked, and there's this one practice in Oakland. She was retiring. She did sports, and everything just like made sense. She practiced kind of similar to the way Morgan and I practice. So we just kind of like looked into it, met up with her, chat to her about like certain things like, oh, how's the practice been going and whatnot, and just got the ball rolling. And we weren't like extremely like, oh, we're 100% set on it. So that was probably maybe like March, early May or something like that. And then as we kind of talked to her, like Morgan and I discussed, like we just wanted to do something different, like have something that belongs to us. And I think by like mid-May, maybe even earlier, like April or late April, early May, we just started looking at what it's gonna take us to get it. And the biggest thing was just like, do we have enough money to kind of pay up front and buy the practice? And then next steps is like, are we sure we're able to make money? Because her demographics are a little bit on the older side just because she's been in practice for like 30 plus years or something like that.
How do you assess that?
Biggest thing is patient retention and how can we grow the business, because right now she's mostly cash. Just have a lot of different business ideas, and we're like, I think we get this to work. And the selling price was also like extremely friendly. She gave us like a pretty good loan, so it wasn't like a huge loss up front, and we have enough savings to kind of just like get the balls rolling. And once we kind of start finalizing, the biggest hurdle was how to start a corporation, right? So
LLC?
no LLCs, unfortunately, for chiropractors. In the state of California, chiropractors could only form corporations, specifically S corps. So that was something that we learned during school, and that kind of just like stuck with me just because I knew one day I would want to be opening in California specifically. So for corporations, I think I'm not too sure about the LLC route because I didn't look too much into it. But for corporations, what it means is that it is completely separate entity from our own personal assets. So knock on wood, if anybody sues us, if we do lose, they won't take anything from our personal accounts. It'll all be kind of related to the business. And then at the end of the year, you'll get some tax form. I forgot the numbers, but you will just get taxed at that rate. So there's no payroll taxes or anything. So as an owner, I'll get, like, let's say, $20K. It'll just be $20K to me, and then the federal tax bracket.
And then you get to divide it.
And I get to divide it however I want to.
that makes sense.
So that was the beauty of S corp, and I mean that's the only option we have. So we decided to do that. We had to find a lawyer to do it because you have to do like your articles of incorporation. You have to do your bylaws. We're like, we don't know what half this stuff is.
Should I watch Suits?
I do. I did watch it, but like I'm not. I don't know how to make the bylaws. Like
You can write that yourself.
you can. But I mean, just for the sake of making sure we get it right the first time, because I mean, it's a big thing, right? So find the lawyer to do all that and then sign the contract and like the due diligence, just like making sure like, oh, how much is she making? How much is she losing? It was just a big learning curve from like start to end, because like I never looked at that number, right? I've been doing Cairo. It's just like go to the office, treat like the back end of stuff I don't really get a chance to see. So I think the hardest part was like, is this the correct decision for us? Because like again, the due diligence part, like we had her like tax records for the past 3 years. Like we were looking through it, like, I mean, it looks good. These are the numbers we're expecting, but like, are there any hidden things? So, I mean, she was just working alone, so it was like super easy to kind of like look at. Okay, this is how much she made, this is how much she lost, and this is how much her gross was. So it was fairly easy in that portion. So we didn't like
Did you get an entire history of it, or just
entire history. So we got her tax records and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we're buying the whole entire business, right? So it's like,
But it's crazy to think that like she has all of that. Like I guess you kind of have to.
yeah, I mean, we'll get to that later on, how I'm doing it now, but like, you gotta have, I mean, it's just like any other business, right? You gotta have like what you're writing off, what you're paying people, all kind of set up for the end of the year taxes. So like, it was super easy to see like, oh, she paid massage therapist or this, the rent, how much, all that.
Yeah.
So everything was like super categorized.
Oh wow, that's definitely different than rental, which I'll talk about in a little bit too. Well, I guess it's kind of similar. I have that spreadsheet, but I'm not. Well, I probably should keep the receipts, but yeah, I think I might actually start keeping receipts. Uncle Forrest said I should.
Yeah, you definitely should. I mean, knock on wood again, you don't get audited, but if you do, that having that is such an easy just task to pull through. So like that was the hardest portion, and then like once we got the contracts rolling, we just had to go back and forth with like, oh, we want to add this clause to make sure you're protecting us,
Right.
and that was all the lawyer. We were just giving him feedback like, okay, this is what our bottom line is, because again, the doctor that is selling it was super nice. So like we were discussing like certain things that would benefit her and some things that benefit us, because like she was willing to take a little bit of the tax because she's giving us a personal loan. So she's giving us a super nice like 0% interest. So that's amazing. That was another big
0% interest.
Yeah, for the next 3 years.
Oh, is that the amount of time you have to pay it out?
Yeah, but
Oh wow.
still, that's
Yeah.
I mean, not free money, but it
No,
technically
I mean, it
is
is
free
'cause
money.
if you have to borrow.
That's the interest
interest is-
loan.
exactly, yeah.
So we're like, she was super nice. She was really eager. She liked us. We liked her. So the portion, the negotiation was like super quick. I think the hardest thing was again us getting things finalized. But once things got finalized, like that was like late May, early June. By then it was pretty much all set, and now it's just like that transition period. How are we gonna start making this business our own? I'm obviously not there. I don't know if I talked about that in the beginning, but Morgan's there full time. I'm still working my job in Berkeley, so I'm kind of like doing two hats. Like I still have my own full time, and then I'm kind of splitting the time, my free time, doing my personal clinic. So Morgan's doing the hefty like lifting in terms of like being there, talking to the patients, treating, working with the old doctor. So she has a ton of stress on that end. So like my job kind of being in the back end of things, just because I have more of that knowledge in terms of insurance, kind of the bookkeeping and stuff like that. So on my free time, I'm like making sure that we're having our tax ID number, our like disability, our liability insurance, like all these different insurances that I had no idea existed. I'm just like going through check boxes. Did I get that? Did I get that? I need an unemployment number. I need a worker's comp. So a lot of that, the first like 3 weeks was just like, holy crap, I got a lot to do. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I was just like, I finished this one thing. Oh, I think we're done. And then we talked to an accountant and like, oh, you got to do this form too. And you got to like, make sure you do this. So the first 3 weeks was super stressful, because like, it was just a lot of like, do this, do that, do that. Cause like, it's a time crunch, right? Like once you start a business, like you gotta like make sure you're doing everything that will then be fulfilling what it means to be a business. And like since it's both our first time, we're just like holy cow. And we still have a couple things that we need to do. Like we still need to do like a doing as business name, stuff like that.
Oh wait,
So
you need a new business name?
no, but
Oh,
so she owned the business name, right? So now she's gonna forfeit that with the county, and we then have to apply with the county to have that name back.
okay.
So it's like stuff like that. It's not like crazy urgent because she's still technically working with us, so it's fine. But she's gonna be officially gone by August, so that's when it's gonna be like full blown ours. And I think that's why I haven't really told much people, and it's like already like early July. It's been about a month, and I'm still kind of keeping it down low because technically it's not ours completely yet because she's still there. She's still treating.
So I shouldn't post this.
I mean, by the time you post this, we should be good.
Okay.
But
It's August, right? August 1st?
August 1st is when she's
Oh,
officially.
yeah. It's going to take some time.
But yeah, it's very exciting because it's just like you have something that could like not as weird as that sounds, but like you have something that belongs to like us. And it's been fun, but also like super crazy because like again, I'm working and then like last Friday I like finished work at 1 and then I had to go back to the clinic and just like set up the computer, kind of help check patients in because the office manager wasn't there, and then doing some bookkeeping like now like with the receipts. And that's why I'm like, all right, I'm pretty much going at the end of the week, what receipts do we pay for? Do I have that in the system? So I use QuickBooks for that. Learning how to do payroll for the first time. That was like all this small stuff. Like I just never really had the chance to do it because again, I was always just a worker, right? And not employee, not an owner. So a lot of that learning curve was just like, all right, we're slowly making a lot of phone calls, like talking to these people like, oh, we're new to this. How's our setup? And people are super friendly about this, right? That's their job. So having that help was extremely, extremely important because like, again, we wanted to make sure that we weren't doing anything that was incorrect or even against the law or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you think is the hardest part of starting a business?
Hardest part, I think finding the right business for you. I think that was the hardest part for us is like starting to understand like, is this business gonna work for what we want as like a business owner? So like if you're starting from scratch,
I was going to say, like, how did you decide between starting from scratch versus buying?
yeah, I think starting from scratch, like it's legit zero income in the very beginning because you're not going to have patients, right? Like, do you start off opening your own storefront? Do you join somebody's clinic and just be an independent contractor? Obviously, it's a little bit different for other occupations, but for chiro specifically, it's either you have your own store, you join someone's practice, and you bring in your own patients, or you work for somebody else. So it's like an employee, independent contractor, or your owner. So we decided to do this because again, the opportunity just landed itself, right? So that's number one. And then number two was outweighing like how much do we have to pay up front in terms of like buying equipment, renting, having some of that patient base there still, given we still have to have that small loan, but like it wasn't a substantial amount and she was giving us a really good interest rate and like
Zero.
zero.
So there's no interest rate.
There's no interest rate. So that's the beauty of it.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was the biggest portion. It was like if she was gonna make us pay more on top of like us not so many unknowns, then we probably would have been like, okay, probably maybe not, because like it was a big, not like a huge lump sum in the beginning, but it was just like, oh, it's a good chunk of money that we had to kind of pay off. So the hardest part was again deciding the business, is this the correct one? But like let's say like if it was like you're not buying into something, what was the hardest part? I think the hardest part is like, again, if it's your first time, the hardest part is just like everything is going to be your first, like finding the correct insurance company, like phone service, internet service.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the hardest part, is like not even just running the business, it's just like having the correct things to classify you as a business has been the hardest part for me, I guess.
Wow. That's very different than rental. I would actually now say owning a rental is easier. Just hearing all the checklist items you have sounds like it's a lot. I mean, it's not easy. Like having a rental is definitely not easy, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like I have to learn. Well, I also have like 2 people to help me, so that's been pretty nice. But the jump between owning my own home versus renting is like so different. So I can like definitely understand how much time it takes, because it's stressful. Like all these little costs out of nowhere, or like just paperwork you have to do, and you don't realize how stressful it is. But all those little things add up, and if you're not invested, it's just like why do you even do this? You could use your money elsewhere, right? Like,
Yeah.
so nah, I get it. The rental itself, what it took about 3 months too. So very
Yeah.
similar, because you were there when you
Yeah,
helped
yeah,
me,
yeah.
like getting it ready. Did you have to do any remodeling for your place, or like?
That was another beautiful thing, was like the clinic was in prestige. Like
Oh, that's nice.
all the equipment came with it. Like the owner was super nice. We were able to get the same exact rent, same
Oh
rate.
wow.
So like everything just lined up that like
Yeah.
everyone wanted the deal to happen, because like she was getting old, she wanted to retire, so
For
she was
sure.
excited. And she was like, yeah, like when we first met, like we knew, or she knew, that we were going to be a good fit just from like our vibe and just from talking to us.
Oh,
So
that's awesome. I feel like those opportunities, they come, and if you don't like grab it,
it's gonna,
right?
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
don't know when that
exactly.
opportunity is gonna come up again. So it makes sense. Like no matter how hard it gets, you know that like if you think about just the big picture, you never know what what could have happened, or like what wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
Because in this timeline, even though I don't know how stressful it was, but like every time I have to deal with anything with houses, like super stressful in the moment. But then when you then think about the big picture, it's like okay, like it's all worth it.
yeah, no,
Because yeah, painting was a lot. I remember waking up at 5 because I was working too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was teaching. It was Zoom, so I would like wake up at 5, paint a wall, go teach, finish, hit the gym real quick, paint some more walls.
What was I doing then? Oh,
I
I was
think
still
you're
in school. I was still in school, and I was
yeah.
zooming, so I would just have it in the background and just start painting.
Yeah. So it takes a lot of it takes a village. It takes people to help.
Yeah,
So it's cool that you like have all these pieces lined up. Like sounds like people are pretty friendly. They're willing to help, and in general, what I've learned is people
yeah.
do want to help.
You just gotta ask.
Yeah, you gotta ask. Like whatever it is, you gotta ask, and if they say no, like there's probably someone else out there who's
Yeah,
willing to help. But yeah, being business owners, or like even a small business or rental, it's well, you just get started, but I think it's going to help you in the long run,
yeah,
right? Like if you want to have more time, you can do that. Like for me now, it's just that everything's in place. Again, super fortunate. Make sure I understand that, and like I'm super grateful for that. But as long as I know I have like people who are like there, it definitely makes it worth it, because just even within how long has it been, like 3 years, a little almost, yeah, like 3 years now,
yeah, 3 years,
like
because
three
I've been
years
working for 2.5 years now, and we started when I was still
Yeah,
in school. So
like
yeah,
2021.
yeah,
But like in 3 years, it has appreciated like 50K, and like I could probably save that amount in 3 years, but like where my like appreciation slash like earning a bit of cash flow, like you're not getting that really anywhere else. And then with California, right, like within it's only been when I was 24, so 7 years, like 250, 300. Like I'm not saving that amount
yeah,
in 7 years, right? And I'm very curious about like my friends who are into stocks, because I'm wondering like how that, like what that margin of growth is, because there are tons of different ways to invest and
yeah,
use your money. But what I've found is just businesses are the way to go, whether it's like small business like a rental, or like S corporation or a LLC, or what have you. It's just the best way to use your money, or even just like owning your first like primary home, because that helps with tax deductions.
100%.
So
I'm reaping the benefits of it now.
what?
tax deductions. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
renew my license. All right, tax
Yeah,
deduction.
write that off.
Write that off. Oh wait, we're going to Hawaii. Oh, we're just going for a conference. Write that off.
No, like,
In the future, but like, it's
yeah,
just,
when you get big.
when you get big, like that's the beauty of owning a business as well. It's like whenever you need to buy something that is like even remotely related to the clinic, like as Kyra was like, yeah, we're traveling to X, Y, and Z for a conference. It could also be
Educational purposes.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Super easy. And then I had another patient that told me, there's also a small business owner. I was like, yeah, whenever we go on vacations or like buy a personal like TV or something, buying it for the clinic. And
Dude,
it's just
I'm
like,
telling you,
it's that's
the
how
Poke
people
place,
do.
they have 5 TVs.
And it's
I'm
just like
what? The
I think-
bakery has 3 TVs that are not even on.
Yeah.
They just have it right there.
Yeah, and I think I was talking to an accountant because like that's the portion that I just don't know with the law. She's like, yeah, at the end of the year, like if you have $50,000, like, and your personal income is already going to be in a super high tax bracket, like you could just reinvest that money into your clinic and just like write it all off, and you'll still have some money left. And it's just like, why would you not do that? And it's like stuff like that. I'm just like, that's how the rich gets richer.
No, 100%. I mean, this is why I wanted to do this podcast episode, because you got to understand, like 9 to 5 is not the way to go.
Oh yeah, 100% not.
Not even 9 to 5. It's like not just being an employee.
Employee.
An employee, yeah. Like you want to be the boss.
Yeah, no.
And you don't have to be. It doesn't have to be anything big.
Yeah.
Right. Simply as a small clinic, rental, whatever it is. Right. Like where you can. I think the biggest thing is just writing off taxes, and that's why I also put bunch of my money into the 401k. Like I squeeze out as much as I can until like I know I'm comfortable living. And then also like Roth, because in CDs I have everything right now, and even with CDs with 4%, you're like, it's not making much.
Yeah, it's not.
But I look at my Roth, it's like 6-7% at least.
Yeah, 100%.
And I haven't touched, well, at least my old 401k, I haven't touched it, and it's gone up $8K in 5 years, and so it's like, what? I didn't even touch it. You know, and like that's time and money that you can't really get if you're an employee.
Yeah.
So I think there's so much information out there that people just need to like
Do a little research.
Listen to these different like podcasts, even like Instagram. Like sometimes you scroll and you like kind of see some stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, like there's that initial start, right? And you can at least listen to it and then just go do your own research.
Yeah, I heard this one guy, I was on Instagram, it was like, oh yeah, like if you're a business owner, if you have kids at the age of like I think 10 or like 8 or so, you can employ them, pay them up to 13K.
Yeah.
And if you have 2, that's 26K a year.
Yeah.
And that's free money because then they are under that tax bracket, so it's not even taxed that much. And you could use it for like their day-to-day activities.
No, for sure.
Which is like,
yeah, there's just so much
small things out there that could give you benefits that like you wouldn't know until you start digging, which is like, it's like, dang, that's crazy. Like that would not be something that I would think about.
Yeah, that's why I've always been really interested in real estate, because there's just so much opportunity. Even when I was 24 and people were like, what, you're buying? Like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I don't see this as my forever home.
Yeah.
Like that place looks like doo-doo. I mean, it's not doo-doo, but it's not a forever home. You know,
100%.
I thought about making it a forever home, but you know, that's probably not gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna be the wedding venue, but you know, things happen, life happens. So
yeah, no, 100%.
But yeah, even like today, I was just told like I'm probably gonna have to redo the bathroom again because it's bad. Like it keeps we have to keep fixing it. And they're talking about like ripping it out. I was like, what? Rip it out? I just fixed it like 7 years ago. But still, like I don't know. I wish if I could do it all, I definitely would have just if I had the capital. I don't know if I had the capital, but just remodeling it then. Because wood has like tripled, quadrupled the price since then.
No, 100%.
Right? And so, yeah, I just wish I had remodeled earlier. Because now it's like, the kitchen's pretty old. You know, like
Yeah.
I did DIY last year. I mean, I don't know, it turned out pretty nice.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, it's just money. It's a necessity. I think there's a ratio of opportunity cost, right? Like
Yeah.
how much am I giving up elsewhere if I have to make this amount of money? I think it really stems from your values, and when I teach seminar, that's like what I talk about. Because once you understand what you value, like for me, I value my time, so I don't want to work more, or I don't want to have to make more and work harder. I think that's the shift when a lot of people ask me, "Oh, I thought you wanted to become a principal." Yeah, at 22 I did, and I realized how much work and time and energy it takes. I think it's still really good work, important work. I think the new principal is really good, and you can just tell by her leadership and how like the culture has changed at our school. But it's just like, yeah, I can tell. It's just like I like the classroom, and I'm not even going to be in the classroom. I'm gonna be at a university, so
Yeah.
I think that will be. I mean, that's the big move. I
Yeah.
guess I'm moving up into higher ed, but being in that space, I'm really excited to just not have bathroom passes or detention, stay after class because you're late to class.
Yeah.
I don't have to write a referral. So I'm really looking forward to all that at the university level and just continue to push students in their like career path or just the way they think about their values and money and their passion, because I think all of that helps their like big picture.
Yeah.
Right, because not many people can say they they enjoy their work, right?
Yeah.
And it's hopefully you enjoy your work.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it will be tough to not enjoy the work, especially since I'm doing it like pretty much every second of my work time. Like people work 9 to 5 or whatever. Like they have so many gaps to do whatever they want, or like
Sure.
doodle daddle. I'm just gonna go and take a walk. Like for me, it's like my patient care hours. Like I'm certain days I'm there for like 6 hours, and like I have a lunch break. I have like three kind of built-in 20-minute breaks. Unless I'm not booked, I am treating all of that time.
No, for sure.
And like or at the regular clinic that I work at right now, it's like the schedule is pretty darn packed. So it's like life would suck if I hated my work. So
No,
I'm glad
exactly.
I could say that I don't know if I would say go as far as I love my work. I don't mind going to work. I always tell my patients like I hate that it's Monday, but it's not because I don't want to be there. It's more so like I wish I could be there at my own like time slot that I want.
You'll get there.
I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part for me as an educator. I love my job. I can say that. Like I enjoy waking up and teaching, but I wish I had different preps. Like if I could control that.
Yeah.
So pretty similar, right? Like
Yeah.
give me 5 and 6. So I could leave at 1.
Yeah.
I'll teach from 8 to 1.
Yeah,
Just go
no
straight
doubt.
through. I could do that.
No doubt.
Kids are fun. Like I love my job, and even when there are times where it's like stressful, it's still, I know it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because I can see the change even from the beginning of class to end of class. And you don't, I can safely, well, I don't know. I don't think you can really get that at a lot in like a lot of places. So I don't even know what I'll do in the future. Like if I do come back to the US, I'm just like, dang, I'm gonna be older. Do I teach again? Like, what do I like? Do something from work from home? So I'm like, just lost in terms of my career, because I could lost in the sense that I don't know if I want to switch careers, because I can teach for a really long time, but also if I get used to the flexible hours,
Yeah.
I'm gonna want that. So we'll see how it goes. That's the big move, moving into more career focused now.
Career advancement.
Yeah. And also just advising that. Yeah, maybe try to start my own like consulting, kind of like what Monica's doing.
Yeah.
I looked it up. We looked it up. One client can be up to like 6K for like 6 months through the college app process. I don't know if I want to do that, but I know the work is important and I want to do it with a certain population or demographic.
Nonprofit.
Yeah. I thought about that too. There's this mentor project I'm starting. Eventually I want it to be a nonprofit. That'd be really cool. But some of the students and I are like thinking about just making it as a passion project for now and see where it goes. Because there's a lot out there and it doesn't even have to be like with money. I think being a counselor the past 4 years or a career teacher, whatever, seminar teacher, a lot of students value money, which is important, but I think things might shift slightly when you get older because you then realize there's a lot of ways to make money, but also contribute to your community, right? Or tie it to your passion, where like you're not working every single day because what you're doing is a hobby, a passion, and that's how I see my job, like waking up, working with students, helping them figure out their essays. Like I look forward to that in Taiwan, just helping them, especially if they're applying to grad school here, helping them figure out how to like articulate their story from whatever, like Chinese, right? Because that's how they're thinking, and then like transferring it to English. So I'm looking forward to that, and then through the mentorship program that I'm starting here, hoping to connect them with Taiwanese students so that they'll have like cultural exchange.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, or even doing like EF, like the travel thing, like just get students to travel to Taiwan. Yeah, I'm pretty good at planning. I can do that. So I'm excited. So those are some big moves that I'm thinking about. But yeah, like I said, finances, I think help with like everything, which is why so many people value money. But
It's a Kickstarter.
exactly.
You
But
need-
there's so much more is what
Yeah.
I want to get at. And you can change your lifestyle, like just being frugal. I think that's been the biggest blessing for both of us. I don't know if you're more frugal or am I, but I feel like we're both pretty frugal.
Yeah, I would say so. Morgan would say so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, shoot, I don't need to spend on XYZ.
Yeah, I don't need luxury items. This will get me through.
Yeah, I've
And
had
I
this shirt
mean-
for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, especially now starting the business, especially a frugal time. Like I'm wearing like 5 different hats. Like on paper, I'm like the secretary and treasurer. Like I'm doing the bookkeeping myself. I'm counting like like I told you, like at the end of the week, I'm counting through. Okay, what did we spend on? I need the receipts. I need to go get it from the bank account or from whatever account, AT&T, our application, and then like, oh, we need to match our books. Like, oh, how much are we getting deposited into our bank?
Yeah.
How much do we make that day? Is there a difference that they overcharge us, that they pay us the correct amount? So stuff like that was just like, yeah, I'm just trying to save where we can, especially at the time now. It's like, good practices.
Yeah. I'm telling you, hit up Monica. Like, I'm pretty sure she has a really good system of how workflow works. I think that's what she's like trying to do in her like independent consulting.
Okay.
Just understanding. I mean, I'm sure you have. It sounds like you have a system,
Yeah.
but I think what her passion is like how do you improve that system and make it more efficient. So there's that. But just again, there's so much resources out there.
Yeah.
And you don't have to work a 9 to 5. I think the biggest thing I would tell people is just have a skill or have a passion. And when you have ideally both of those, you can really like do your thing.
Yeah. And then I think the biggest thing is like, I'm not trying to say 9 to 5 isn't like, not everyone, not like is meant to be a business owner, but that's
Have that desire.
Have a desire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's all that stress that comes with it.
Exactly. I think the stress factor is crazy because like the first past 2.5 years, I just go to work, treat, and I'm gone.
Yeah,
like that's chilling. Like I only work 25 hours of patient care hours, and I'm like comfortable, and I don't need to do anything. I just like treat and out.
Right.
And like now it's just like I'm staying along after hours, right? I mean, I'm not treating at my clinic just yet, so it's just like it's out there for sure. But it's just like, oh, go do this, and then I have to go do this again. So it's just like a lot of back and forth. So like if I was treating, it would just be about the same because I would probably do the same amount of hours. So it's like all in all, I'm putting up probably like 40, 50 hours a week into kind of clinic work, if per se, which is like not a lot, but it's also like still quite a bit for someone that is like just starting off with starting.
Yeah,
a
no, that
business.
makes sense. But again, it sounds like you enjoy it, or like
Yeah.
that's what you want. Like,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course, the
yeah.
desire has to be there.
Yeah.
But no, the 9 to 5, there are definitely benefits, right?
Yeah.
Like to it, and you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
all the things that business owners have to
Mm-hmm.
worry about.
Mm-hmm.
And work from home was such a big thing the past like couple of years. I'm curious if it'll continue because
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing for me. I value time more than anything because
Mm-hmm.
I guess you can buy time, but you can't.
Can't get your time back.
You can't get your time back. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
100%.
that's what I how I see it. And like, why am I working so hard or for that many hours when I could just like change my
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle? Yeah, like I don't need the luxury items, and so again, just kind of going back to what started this conversation is because I've set up a strong foundation when I was young. I think in the next whatever like 5 years or so, or whenever I settle down, but I'm not too concerned about finances. Like
Yeah.
that's now that I've done that, I can kind of like reverse. And when all my other like friends or peers were
Hmm.
going out and buying these things, I'm like, oh, I could buy a watch now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I like the cash flow is not too bad.
Uh-huh.
And if anything, I'll just sell a primary because again, where am I making 250
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
tax free?
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
yeah. Um, sell it to Benny or something. I think he's trying to buy. Besides teaching, I think they're equal, like finance, personal finance, and just real estate and education. They're like equally fun for me and what I really enjoy, like researching and doing. Yeah, I told the students to start a Roth, and he made like $5. I was like, dude, you made $5. You put it in like $100 or maybe 20. I forget. He made like $5. I was like, what? You didn't do anything. You made $5. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like a small amount, but that five is gonna compound too.
It's gonna
Like
add up.
he's
Yeah.
18 right now.
Yeah.
Or a lot of my students are whatever 18 or 19. I started my Roth when I was 26, and so you have a Roth, right?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it just compounds so quickly.
Yeah.
And when you take out that money, it's tax free. Like
Yeah.
you're not beating that.
Yeah. No. 100%.
But I think if you're over a certain salary, you can't put Roths. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked really too far into it because right now I need the capital. I can't just stash
That's
it
another
away.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Capital is super important. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. And saving, being frugal is how you get capital.
Yeah. Gotta save it anywhere you can.
Yeah, sweet. I think this is it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get one more in, but I don't
It's
know
crazy.
when next time I'll see you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a minute. Got another big plan coming up.
Yeah. Well, you could probably talk about it when. Well, actually, you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Yeah, because I mean, that's when I would be coming back,
Yeah.
unless Benny beats you to it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Because this boy right here. We'll talk about that another time. I'll get him on here. See if he
Yeah.
spills the tea.
Spill some tea. Yeah.
But no, the next time I'm back, it's gonna be different. I for sure plan on being back in 4 years. So I told my pride students, if they remember / invite me, but I'll be going to their graduation. So a little road trip through the states, in May
that'd
and
be
June.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's some of them Penn, but then some are at East Bay, Cal. So it's gonna be all over. So I'll be for sure back in 4 years for just May and June. That's my plan. Like that's the only plan I have for the upcoming 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Really want to be in South America or Latin America. Working my Spanish, it's pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going through Duolingo. I'm like, I know this. I just need to speak. Speaking and listening is the hardest. I mean, for any language.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. Those are my big plans, and you have some too.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be good. Excited to
Yeah.
hear all about it.
Same.
Watch it. You can, yeah.
Yeah, watch it. Yeah.
I'm curious how you're gonna do while like.
Yeah, well, you just gotta see.
Yeah, I'll see what's up. Sweet.
All
All right.
right.
So catch you whenever next time.
Yeah. Hopefully before you leave.
Yeah, but I'm taking my the setup to Taiwan, so it'll be cool. I'm gonna try.
I'll be watching from afar.
There you go. Like, subscribe. All right, we out.